a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Hey gifted crafters, welcome back for another Saturday CrafterNoon. Thank you guys for tuning in today. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ and I host these weekly live sessions to talk about all things crafty. We talk about everything from decoupage, knitting, crocheting, sewing, embroidery, quilting, and just so much more. So if this is something that you like and maybe you have a little Etsy shop or a craft fair coming up, or if you're just looking for a simple gift to put together, you're definitely in the right place. So go ahead and jump into the chat, say hello to some friends, and let's share some tips, tricks, and ideas to make your crafting life a lot better. So of course, I am a holiday girl and I like to kind of look at all of the holidays. So let's just take a quick look at what holidays we have coming up here. So it is National Juggling Day. It is also Nature Photography Day. And it is Elder Abuse Awareness Day. And that one, you know, it's really important. If you see something, say something. You know, the elderly is very vulnerable out there, and it's really important that we look out for all of them. So thanks again for tuning in. Of course, let's go ahead and say hello to all our friends that I see out there. I see Amy Bullis. I see Boricua Sewing and Crafts. There's my sister. Hey. I see Crafting with Robin, Donna Phillips, Jenny Owens, Judy Bauer, 1 Minute Tips, Robin's Quilt Basket. I see Sassy. I see the Crafty Puerto Rican. Hey, Jenny. Alrighty. And tonight we are going to have actually a double session today. So for all of you who have joined Tier 2 and up, we're going to have a late night session tonight with me, and we're going to be premiering, if you guys haven't heard of our CD that we have. So of course, we have our Crafting Tunes Volume 1 CD that has been out now and is available on our website also. But we have been working on Volume 2. And so all of the members that we have out there that are Tier 2 and up will be meeting with me tonight, and we'll be listening to the new songs that are coming in. So if you haven't joined, it's not too late. Go ahead and hit that join button. Should be down somewhere in the description area. You should be able to see that, and you can join us tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys there. We're going to have a good time. So I hope you guys can join us. So let's see, what else do we have going on? Because everyone's talking about, you know, it's summertime. Things are a little bit slow lately. I mean, the weather has just been like horrible. At least I'm in the Miami area, so we have had nothing but rain, and more rain, and yet today even more rain. So it's been really interesting because there's been a lot of places that have been really flooded. I've been very lucky. We haven't had any flooding around where I am, so I'm a little bit more inland away from the ocean side. So the other areas are not doing as hot, and so there's a lot of flooding and things going on in the area. So a little bit scary, but you know, we're hanging in there. And thank you guys for all your texts and comments and Facebook and stuff. We are good. We had a little power issue here and there. The lights have been kind of flickering on and off, but we've been able to maintain power really early this morning. I don't know what happened. We heard like the transformer just big noise, and I kind of slept through it, but everyone else in my family seems to have heard it and got up and all got scared. But it seems like it was a transformer that was nearby that kind of blew, and we kind of lost all power. So I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to do the live today, but the power came back on and we're all good. And it seems like, at least for right now, it's just kind of drizzling. So I was able to kind of get out and get some, groceries done and, just little running around things that I needed to do, so that I can kind of hunker down for the rest of the day, because it's going to be a pretty stormy day. So we're going to spend the rest of the day crafting, and I'll be able to see you guys on tier 2 and up later on tonight. So it'll be a lot of fun. Hope you guys can join. Yeah, oh, thanks, Jenny. Yeah, we're safe. We're all good. We haven't been impacted by the flood, but there's been a lot of people that, there's so much flood in the areas, and then when the cars pass by, the water kind of ripples and it pushes the water even more into their homes. So little scary out there, but we're all good. So far so good. Alrighty, and my mom's good as well. I've also been checking on her. She's a-okay, no flooding on her end as well. So we're in a pretty good area. We're a little bit higher up, so we don't have that issue. So yeah. But yeah, a lot of people have this stormy weather going on. I see it's either really, really hot or it's just raining. I mean, it's just been crazy. It's been crazy out there. Alrighty, so what did we do? Let's see. Oh, hey, Renee. Hey, Renee, Robinette, how are you? Thanks for joining. Okay, so last week we talked about reverse decoupage and we used the water method. So that was a lot of fun. If you guys see the picture there, the plates came out awesome. I did continue to put another layer of Mod Podge just to be on the safe side. I like to kind of have that double thing because I really like plates to last. But I was able to do kind of a whole set. I think I ended up doing about 6 plates of the oranges and the watermelons. They also have the lemons out there. So I thought it was really cute, and they have the little set that you can get from the Dollar Tree with the cups. So it's really cute for a little summer thing. If you got a little backyard barbecue going on, once the weather kind of clears up, it's going to be really nice. So the set came out awesome. I was really happy with it. And it's just another thing that you can do to sell out there, especially if you have a craft fair. People get to see it up close, and it's glass plates. So they have a high perception value, so you should be able to pull in a pretty good profit on it, because the plates themselves, you get them from the Dollar Tree, and then of course the napkins, 1 pack of napkins had like 16 in there, so you can bang out like 16 plates. So I mean, $1.25 for the plate, $1.25 for the napkin, that's $2.50, and I'm pretty sure you can sell it for a lot more than that. And you can do them as sets as well, and just kind of like tie them up with a ribbon or something. That would be a really nice set to sell. So good perception value for those who are sellers out there. Alrighty, let's see, what else do we have? So this week I've got a topic that we're going to be talking about. It's another type of idea where we're going to take something, I'm going to compare it to something that you've seen before, but now with just a little bit of a change, we're going to give it a higher perception value. So it'll be a higher value for you to be able to sell. Let's see. Oh, Donna says we have a dam north of us that often releases water and causes river flooding in nearby communities. Wow. Yeah. And Donna, if you guys don't know, she's on our Facebook group, and she's been posting pictures on a cathedral window flag quilt that she's been working on. It's a pattern by Shabby Fabrics, really gorgeous. If you guys haven't seen it, join our Facebook group. Really, really beautiful pictures. Donna, I think you're doing a fantastic job. It's turning out beautiful, and I can't wait to see it completed. Really, really nice. I like it. Let's see. Anything else before I move on? Okay, great. Oh, hey, Yvonne. How are you? Thanks for joining. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to talk about, and it's super easy to do, and it can really give you a difference in terms of, how much you can charge for a certain product. So this is one example. So this is a pillow that I made, I don't know, a year or so ago. I don't know, it's been a while. And all it is a simple piece of fabric on the front, and I chose this really nice fabric in the back, and you can see here what it looks like. It's got the little pumpkins, like the little fall. And then the front piece has an embroidery on it, and I used some mylar, so it has that little bit of a shine and shimmer to it. So you can see that. You can see how it kind of shines, which in itself is beautiful, and it can sell, right? Very easily. Has a nice edge here on the end. You can easily sell this in a craft fair, or if you're doing Etsy, I would say you just sell the pillow. It's the pillowcase itself, and then they can put their own pillow insert. That way it's cheaper for you to ship out things. But something like this can easily sell, and people would look at it and say, oh, $10, $15, maybe even $20. You can kind of judge what it would be for a cost. But then you have other pillows that have some piping to it, and the pillows that have the piping to it are really a lot of the pillows that you see like in the department stores. And the piping would just make a change to the edges of the pillow itself. And all it is really is just a cording that they use on the inside, wrapped around with some fabric. And you can purchase this cording, and I'll give you a little bit of a close-up of what this looks like. So you can see here, it's got a piece of cording on here, and then the fabric wrapped around it. And all it is, it's stitched here on the side, so you can really see how the cording sticks out, right? So the cording is inside there. Nobody sees the cording, and there's different sizes of cordings that you can get. You can get ones that are really thin. You can get thicker ones. Totally up to you, and depending on your project, right? You may want the binding to be pretty thick or not. But I think that the piping really dresses up the pillow a little bit more, and it does give it a higher perception value, where then you can sell your pillows a little bit more than what normal people would just buy a regular pillow for. So if you're looking to make a little bit more extra money, and let's say you're making pillows and selling them, you could add the piping to your pillow, and you could sell it for more because it'll look a little bit more upscale, a little bit more like from a store bought that you would typically find for a lot more money. Now, the piping itself, you can purchase on its own. So they have them at the craft stores. You can get them in Walmart. This is one that I used on a project, on the one that I'm going to show you in a second. This one here, it is by Wrights, and it's called Bias Tape Maxi Piping. It gives you 2.5 yards, and it's about a 1/2 inch wide. And this is the package. This is what it looks like when you buy it. And I'll take one out here. If I can get it out. There we go. This is what it looks like once you buy it. It's just wrapped up, and it's like a little thing here. And this is what the package looks like, in case you're looking for it. This one I bought at Walmart. Okay. 2.5 yards, more than enough for your pillow. Okay, more than enough. Matter of fact, I believe I had opened up a package, I did a pillow, and I have still enough left to make another project with. So you can probably get 2 pillows out of this 2.5 yard, maybe even a little more, because I kind of was a little generous when I was cutting. But these, you can usually find them in Walmart. I've seen them for $2. The most I've seen them was like $2.97, and I thought that was way too pricey for this. And then I saw them for $2. I said, okay. But I've seen them for 99 cents. And you can probably pick them up at Joann's. I think they were having a sale this week on the bias tapes, and the piping is included in that. So if I remember right, I saw this for 99 cents. So you can purchase it, or you can make your own bias piping. Okay, and it's so simple to make. If you already have, let's say, macrame cord or some type of other cording, excuse me, you can definitely make it yourself. Let me grab a drink. Hold on. I'm getting that tickle in my throat. Okay, sorry about that. So, definitely, you can make your own. You don't have to purchase it. And if you make your own, it's actually more profitable for you, because you can get a whole thing of piping or macrame cord, and then your bias tape that you're going to use for that, you're going to want to change up the colors. Excuse me. So in this case, this one is just a simple white one, but you may want to actually use the same fabric that you're using for your pillow, especially something like this that maybe has like a little accent or different colors, maybe it has stripes, and you could use that as your piping. I mean, you can imagine if this was just a white and red background, and then you had a stripe piece of fabric, and you cut it on the bias, and you wrap the cord around it, and then all you have to do is sew that with your zipper foot, and you'll have that binding. So you can imagine the white and red, and then the white and red striped binding on the side. I mean, so cute. That would be so cute for Christmas, right? I would really love to see something like that. That would be super cute for Christmas. And then you can embroider something on the front and have like a really cute Christmas thing. Excuse me, I'm having a hard time with my throat today. So, that's something that you can really change up, and your pillows does not have to be just like a picture. You can do just, really nice quotes on here. That would be a nice seller too. Or if you want to do for Christmas, you can do Santas and snowmen, or Thanksgiving, you can have nice quotes on here as well, or have a nice pumpkin. But then the bias, when you add it onto it, it just makes such a difference. So let me show you one that I made here. Wow, really having a hard time with it. So this is one that I made. And if I can move this over. And so this one has the piping here on the side. And I took the piping all the way around. And I just embroidered something really simple in the front. And this one I just made into an envelope pillow. So I have, a nice opening here. But it was, this was really simple to make. Oh, Donna's asking, did I use Mylar when I did the hummingbird? Yes, I did. Let me see if I can show you this a little closer. You can see the little shimmer on it. Try to move it around to see if you can see the shimmer. But yes, this is Mylar. And I think I can't remember which video it was, but I think if you just look at my videos and just type in Mylar, I think I did a whole session about, you know, where you can get the Mylar and how you use it and, you know, how to do it and all that stuff. So just go ahead and check that out, Donna, because it should be out there. It may have, the thumbnail may have a picture of the actual hummingbird on it, so you might be able to see that. I can't remember when it was that I did it, honestly. Let's see. Uh-oh, Donna says she's been spending way too much on fabrics and sewing supplies this month. I need to buy stock in Missouri Star Quilting Company. Their daily deals are too tempting. Yes, they are. Very tempting. I try not to look anymore, because if I look, I'm going to want to buy. So I'm really trying not to. Trying to hold off, because I know, you know, later on in the year, the holidays are coming, and then I'm really going to want to buy. So I'm trying to hold off right now. Okay, you see the shimmer when I did the close-up. Okay, great. Yeah, and this was, you know, it's a really simple project, and the Mylar really gave it a nice upscale, you know, so if you were gonna sell, you know, it's kind of nice for that. Then I did a nice little pumpkin thing. It was around, it must have been around Halloween time or Thanksgiving time when I made this. So, you know, it's just something that was really nice to do. But the edges here, you know, they're just plain. They're plain edges. You know, I didn't put any piping. But when you do the piping, like, you can see the difference. These are both, and I'll show you the ones that I like to use. They're called Crafter's Choice. This one was a 2-pack. It's a 16-inch pillow, which is the same size of the ones that I just showed you. And I just get these in Walmart, but you can get them in Joann's and Michael's. I mean, they have them in all the craft stores as well. You can get these little inserts. And so I like these as opposed to using the stuffing, because it just makes everything so much easier. So I kind of like it when you get one. This one was a 2-pack, but I do have a second one, which I'm going to be making later on today. And, you know, it's just a pillow insert. It's got all the polyfill on the inside, nice and simple, just makes it really easy to finish up the project. So I get these at Walmart, but you can get them, like I said, in a bunch of different places. But, you know, that's what I like to use when I'm doing pillows. And so that one, it's 16 inches, and they're both 16 inches, but what you notice is that with the piping, it just gives it that extra polished look. I mean, in comparison, right? Like, so when you look at the sizing, they are the same size. But when I look at the pillow with the piping, even though this is just pure white, this one is just a pure beige, and this one actually has Mylar on it versus this one that was just an embroidered design. There was nothing special about threading or anything that I did. I was just thinking of someone in our family. There's a little girl in our family, and so I was like, oh, this would be cute for her. And so, you know, I'll go ahead and, you know, stitch this out. And, you know, when I added the piping to it, I was kind of like, wow, you know, it really looks like a pillow that you could purchase in a store. And it really gives it that nice crisp look. I love how it does the edges here on the edge here, and it just, you know, really looks beautiful. And then if you turn it onto the back, you know, same thing. It looks great from the back and the front, and it's so easy to do. But even if you make your own bias tape piping, you know, you can just do so many things. I mean, imagine this, you know, that red and white that I was saying on a Christmas pillow. Really, really cute. Really cute. Let's see. So Donna's asking, Nancy, do you prefer a zipper or an envelope closure? If it kind of depends, I guess, I think more on my time. You know, if I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to do the envelope pillow because I don't want to be bothered with the zipper. I like it because I can easily just kind of like with this one, and I'll take it out just so you can see. You know, just taking it out, look how easy it is. You know, if I have to like throw this in the washing machine or something, you know, I could take the insert out and boom, here you go. You know, it's so easy. And you've got this here, and it's so easy to put together. You know, no zippers involved. You can just easily throw this together in like maybe an hour. You can have a really beautiful pillowcase. If you know, if you take a long time, I could probably whip it up in about half hour if I really wanted to. But you know, I do like the envelope. However, the zipper one is nice too, and the hummingbird had a zipper one. The problem with zippers though, sometimes I don't have the colors that I want. And so if I have the colors and I have everything, then great. But if I have to go out and buy a zipper for it, I'm most likely just going to change it to be an envelope zipper, but pillow, because, you know, I just don't want to add that added expense. Now, if you are selling, you got to kind of look at your price point, right? Because adding the zipper is great. And I do like it. It makes it nice and easy. You know, I can easily open this up and take out the pillow insert and all of that, but that's an added expense if you're selling, and that zipper is not really going to give you more money for it, right? Some people may you know, want to buy one with a zipper, and maybe you can have a few of those available. But you have to kind of think about your bottom line, because if you're going to spend money on a zipper, then that's less profit you're going to be making on that particular product, right? And will putting a zipper on that product give you more money? If you're going to change the pricing on that pillow and maybe have the zipper ones be a little bit more, then absolutely go for it. I'd say go ahead and put the zipper on there. But if you're looking to sell and all of your pillows will be the same price, then it may not be worth it, because you're going to put an added expense to yourself on making a product that's going to deliver the same price or the same profit that you would have if you were to just do it as an envelope pillow. So it kind of depends. Now, if this is just a gift or something you're doing for yourself, absolutely go for the zipper. Why not? You know, but if you're trying to on a budget and you're trying to keep your costs low, the envelope pillow, really quick, really easy. I like how it slips on and off, and you know, I don't have to worry about zippers. I don't have to worry about the added expense or finding a zipper that's going to match my project. That's another thing that I had, because I did look for one when I was doing this, but you know, I couldn't find a nice blue or anything that would really match it well, and I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna make it an envelope pillow. So I did, and then I just added the piping, and that made it look nice. So it's, you know, there these little tiny things, these little tools that you can add to these projects that will really lift up the value of your product, whether you're selling it or if you're gifting it. So, you know, it's something that, you know, you can look out to do. Now, in terms of how you put the piping on, it's super easy. I'll just kind of walk you guys through that a little bit. Let me just kind of put this here. Let's see. Excuse me. Again, let me just grab a sip. Okay. So, in terms of how you would put the piping on, really, really easy. I have little scraps of fabric here. That's what I'm just going to use to kind of just demo to show you guys. It's really, really easy to do. So you have your two scraps of fabrics. Now, this is a 16-inch pillow form, right? Yeah, this one's a 16-inch. And so when you're doing an envelope pillow, it's whatever your size of your pillow insert is, plus 1 inch plus seam allowance, right? So this is a 16-inch pillow insert, so I add another inch, so I'll say 17, and then I'll add a 1/4 inch seam allowance also. So I would cut my fabric at 17.5, because you have a 1/4 inch seam allowance here, 1/4 inch seam allowance on the other end. And so because you have the 2 1/4 inch seam allowances, that makes 1/2 inch. So I'll be 1.5 inches more than what the size of your pillow insert is. So since it's a 16-inch pillow form, I would cut my fabric at 17.5 inches. Okay? And so I'll go ahead and do that. And then what I'll do for the back of the pillow, this kind of just really depends how you want to do it. Some people say 11 inches, some say 15 inches. It depends how much of an overlap you want to have. For this particular pillow, let me see, my overlap is about this much. I like to have a larger overlap because if you don't have a good amount and your pillow is really bulky, you know, it'll start like bulging and so may not even, you know, it'll stretch this out and you won't even have enough to fold over, right? So it will not look right if you do that. So you definitely want to kind of just play with that and then go ahead and cut your fabric into 2 separate pieces for the back. So you'll have 1, 2 in the back, and then you'll have the 1 in the front. Could be 2 different fabrics like I did here, or you can have it all the same color, same kind of fabric. Totally up to you and how you want to do that, right? But you're going to take your front fabric, right? And what you want to do is you want to take your piping and you want to line it up raw sides together. So just think of the raw edge of the piping going with the raw edge of the fabric. So whatever that is. So remember, you're just going to have this top one, and I'm going to have the fabric facing up. So right side up, and you're going to lay your piping down here around the edges of it. Let me just pin a couple here, just so you could see that. And where you start your piping is really up to you. I like to kind of start it in the end because I don't want my piping to start by a corner, because the corners are going to be tough for you to kind of sew. So you always kind of want to start in the middle somewhere. And so you'll go ahead and you'll continue to pin your piping down to the edge of the fabric. Now, once you get towards the corner, you're going to want to do a couple things. So what you'll have to do is kind of move it. Now, remember, you cut this on a bias, so it has a little bit of give to it. So you have that little bit of stretch, but you got to kind of help it out a little bit. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have that turn. But what you need to do is you need to grab some scissors and just cut some little tiny slits on the bias. So right where you're going to be making that turn, you're just going to cut. You're not going to cut the stitches, right? You're just going to cut some slips on the fabric side of the piping. So it'll look something like this. You can see that here where I have cut. See how I've cut just a couple little slits here? And all that is going to do is allow you to kind of bend it so that you can make that turn. right? So you want to be able to turn this so that you can make that corner. And then I would go ahead and pin it. So let's just do that. I'm going to go ahead and pin it here. And then you'll just continue kind of pinning this all the way across. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing with the slits on every corner that you get here. So this is a pretty small piece of fabric that I'm working with. So, you know, right away I'm going to have to kind of snip it again just so I can get that wiggle room and make that turn. So I'll go ahead, and you want to make sure that as you're doing this, make sure that your fabric is nice and flat. Okay, and then go ahead and continue to pin this down. Nope, let me get a different pen. Okay. And then you'll just keep pinning. Pin it a couple times more. And then again, I'm approaching yet another corner. So again, I'm gonna need to grab my scissors and just snip a couple of, and it doesn't matter how many you do, just do enough so that you can make that turn. And then just kind of pin it in place. And so I'll grab this here. Just be sure that you do not cut the stitches on there. You don't want to do that. Okay. And make sure that you're right on the edge here. Okay. I'm on my very last turn here. So again, go ahead and make those little cuts. And if you cut too many, it doesn't matter. No one is going to see this, so it does not matter. This is all going to be on the inside. And then I'll go ahead and put yet another pin. Now, when you start to get back to the very first side that you pinned, right? This is where you have a couple of choices to do on how you want to end your piping. And my end is actually right here. And it's really difficult to see because you could barely see that the piping is ended and beginning here. Okay, and that's just a little trick that you could do, and I'll show you, because there's different ways that you can kind of end your piping. There's one way where you can just kind of put your piping one on top of the other, just make like a little crisscross, and then go ahead and you would just sew it that way. So actually it would be like this. You'd kind of crisscross it right like that. So you've got that little crisscross. You'd take your sewing machine and you would just stitch right over it. You can do it that way. That's not really my preferred way of seeing it. I think it's a lot cleaner if you do it this way, because it almost makes it invisible, where you can't really tell where it begins and where it ends. And the way that I found to do that is, what you're going to do is kind of look at where your piping begins and where you are ending. And I would recommend that you would not do any cuts first. What I would do is go ahead and sew this down And then once you're getting close to the end here, I would just stop. And then I would go ahead and look to measure this. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to leave a tiny flap over the amount of the first piping that you have. So if you see here, your piping ends right here. But you want to go ahead and do a little bit more than that. So you're going to actually end it here. Okay, you see how you're a little bit have a little bit of that overlap. So what I would do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it so I can show you guys. But what I would do is I would go ahead, take that piping and cut it, right? And then what I would do is open up that bias tape and then grab your little seam ripper. Yes, I know, we don't like the seam ripper. They're not really our friends, but you know, in this case, it is a friend. But I will open up that bias tape and I will pick out the stitches so that I can expose the cord itself. And you don't have to do very much, right? You only need the amount that's going to overlap. So I'll go ahead and I will pick these out. And you can see it here. And so you'll start to see the cord that is in here. Okay, so this is the cord. And what you're going to want to do now is you want to peel back, almost like peeling a banana, right? You want to peel back the fabric that's wrapped around this cord. And then you're going to take the cord itself and you're going to cut it off. Okay, just cut that piece off. And so now you're just left with fabric with no cord. And what you're going to do is once you lay that back down, you're going to take that and you're going to overlap it. I'm going to take that pin off and I'm going to overlap this on top of the original piping that I have. So you want to leave a little bit of wiggle room so that you can then, you know, put it on top. And so here, and let me try to pin it down so you could see it well. Actually, let me get a different pin because this one's too bulky. You won't be able to see it. Okay. So here, let me try to pull it this way so you can see just the piping. So you can see here where the red pin is. I overlapped the fabric to come right over it. And so now it seems like this is one consistent loop of piping. And it almost makes it invisible where you can't see where it actually ended and where it's beginning. And so I really like that look because it makes it look more professional. And so now I'm just going to repin this because I'm going to include the fabric on here. And so now you'll just continue to sew that down the line. And then once you've done that and you've completely sewed it down, you're going to then take your other fabric, right size together, and you're going to go ahead and sew it all the way around. And when you're sewing it, the piping is on the inside of the fabric. It's on this side of the fabric, and you're going to be sewing on the outside of it. Okay, so it'll have a nice professional finish to it because you're sewing kind of like bumping up against the cording itself. And I would recommend that when you do sew this, that you use your zipper foot. So, let's see here. This is the zipper foot that I have for my machine. I have this machine is the Brother HC1850. And this is the zipper foot that comes with it. So this is the one that I use. I will go ahead and use the left side, and then I would run my sewing foot up against here, and I will continue to sew this all the way down so that my seam will be nice and close next to the piping itself. And then once you've done that and you've sewed it all the way around, then since it's an envelope pillow, you'll have that opening, and so then you can just kind of turn it inside out and you'll see how the piping looks like, and it's that nice professional finish. Let me just show you what it looks like from the inside. I'm gonna pull it out. So if I were to turn this inside out, you can see here, almost there. This is what it looks like from the inside. So again, this is, you know, not what everyone is going to see. And you'll see here, you can see where the best, I guess you can see it this way. You can see where I sewed around on the edges. And when I finished sewing this all the way around, I also went back and I just snipped the edges of my pillow so that I don't have any bulk here. I wanted the piping, you know, to really show, and so when you reduce the bulk, it makes the piping stand out a little bit more. So if you end up having some excess fabric on the sides, go ahead and cut that off as well. I really didn't have too much excess on here, so I really just cut the corners themselves. And again, if you're doing that envelope pillow, you're also going to want to sew the edges here before you put the whole thing together, because you want to have this have a nice seam on the outside and with no raw edges. So I just kind of folded this, oh, I don't know, about a 1/4 inch seam or so, and then I went ahead and sewed it across. And so once you have this nice and put together, then you can go ahead and turn it inside out, and you'll see the nice piping that comes out on the outside, and it really just makes it pop when you put that together. And so, you know, the piping really doesn't have, it's not a big expense to add to your project, but it does bring a nice perceived value on the project itself. And so if you are selling something, you know, what you want to achieve the most of is to have a product that is low cost to put together, so your expenses are nice and low, but it also gives you a high perception value in terms of the value of the product, so that you can put a nice price point and make yourself a nice little profit. You know, so you always want to have that wiggle room. If you start to sell products that do not have a high perception value, it's going to be a very low margin, and so you'll have to do a lot more volume in order to be able to turn a nice profit. Where if you focus on products that will give you a high perception value and has a low cost, you know, volume is great, but you'll have a nice profit for every product that you're selling out there. So I hope that, you know, that's kind of my little tip for the sellers that are out there, especially when the holidays will be coming up pretty shortly. Like, we're already in June, you know, so half of the year is already gone. A lot of people are going to start thinking about the end of the year and the products that they're going to be selling towards the end of the year, and so you want to really focus on things that will give you that high perception value. And so sometimes looking for little things like these piping tools really help out, because they do not cost a lot to include in your project, but it does raise the perception value of the product. So this is just something that, you know, I wanted to share with you guys if you're starting to think about what you're going to be doing for the end of the year, or even the gifts that you're going to be making. You know, you can kind of spice up that gift and make it a little bit nicer, right? So just a little tip that I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you really enjoy it. Let me just check real quick if I see any questions out here. Let's see. Wow, okay, a lot of people have talking about reading pillows. Yep, a lot of people sell reading pillows out there, definitely. And so you could just add this to your reading pillow and it would really, you know, spice it up even more. You could probably sell it for an extra buck or two, right? Definitely. Oh, thank you, 1 minute tips. Thanks. Okay. Alrighty. So I think that you guys, embroidery designs, yeah, they have a ton of embroidery designs out there for reading pillows. They're really beautiful. Or you can just make one of your own, right? So this one was just, I believe this one was just a design that came with the machine. And so I thought it was really cute. Got a 5x7 hoop, went ahead and embroidered on it. You know, I may go back and try to put a name on here. I don't know. You know, or just leave it the way it is. I kind of like the way it came out. So I may make a couple more of these and, you know, can change it up. So definitely something that's really cute that's out there. Okay, so I think that is all I had to share with you guys. So I hope that you really enjoyed this little tips on putting your own little pillow with the piping. And I hope you really enjoyed that. Now, again, I will be on tonight at 8 p.m. and this will be for the members that are out there for tier 2 and up. And we're going to be doing a couple of things, and I'll be sharing our volume 2, one of our songs that is ready to go. And so I'm looking for some feedback, see what you guys think of the new songs that are coming out. And so I hope you guys can join us if you're able to join. And thank you guys all for tuning in for today. I really appreciate you taking the time and spending it with me. I hope you really enjoyed all the tips. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, because I need some help on this little channel. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
Nancy with GiftsHQ makes crafting videos, creating with passion and a love for what she sews. Crochet, quilting, and sewing, crafting is what she knows. Making smiles one craft at a time. Your talent will grow with every stitch and every thread she weaves her on. Her hands create something special straight from the heart. And as the colors come alive, the joy spreads near and far.